everyone, my name is Megan Veldman. Welcome to my first vlog for the Rural Youth Project. For those of you that are just hearing about it for the first time, it is a research-based initiative in Scotland that is looking at the opportunities and challenges that young people face when living and working in rural locations, and then comparing those to rural locations in international countries. So I'm going to be sharing my experience of living and working in rural Ontario here in Canada. I'll first start out by telling you guys a little bit more about myself. I am 27 years old and live just outside of St. Mary's, Ontario in Canada. I am an egg farmer. I work full-time on my family's farm with both of my parents and my twin brother. I have a younger sister that helps out after she's done work and on weekends, and a younger brother that lives and works full-time in Toronto that will help out when he's home as well. So it's very much a family business. We are all very passionate about the agriculture industry and love what we do. We raise egg-laying chickens, which we call layers. We raise pullets for ourselves and other producers. For those of you that are just hearing the term pullet for the first time, those are your day-old chicks that we raise until they are 5 months old. At that point, they reach sexual maturity and begin laying eggs and are ready to move into a layer barn. Once they're in the layer barn, they will spend the rest of their lives there. We also grow corn, wheat, and soybeans. We will use some of that in feed that we make for the chickens and pullets, and the rest we will store and sell. So now that you know about my family and farm, I'll share more about my schooling and how I got to where I am today. So when I finished high school, I enrolled in the Biological Sciences program at the University of Guelph, which is actually a very well-known agriculture university here in Canada. Although I grew up on a farm and surrounded by agriculture and the agriculture industry and developed a passion for it at a very young age, agriculture wasn't a career that I even considered an option when I was enrolling for university programs, which is really kind of crazy because there are so many opportunities within the industry that you just don't necessarily think about. But when I started at the University of Guelph, I got to see and learn a little bit more about the agriculture program, and by my second year, I had transferred into that program. So I finished at the University of Guelph in 2013 with a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture and majored in Animal Science. In 2014, I had the opportunity to come home and work full-time on the farm. At that point, we were looking at expanding and building another barn. So my parents thought that it would be a good idea to bring me home so I could learn the layer management side of the business. And once the new barn was built, I would be able to manage that on my own. After graduating in 2013, I worked off farm for a few years at a local feed mill. Then in 2014, I had the opportunity to come home and work full-time on the family farm, which is an opportunity that I could not pass up, and I'm very fortunate to have had. So before I end this video, I will talk about one of the challenges I see on a consistent basis from living in a rural location or in the country, and that would have to be transportation. So because we aren't in the city, we cannot rely on city buses or cabs. Cabs can be pretty pricey. If I remember correctly from high school, it's about $25 one way, which has probably gone up since then. So it's a lot of driving yourself everywhere to get anywhere. You have to have a vehicle to get around, or you have to rely on other people to take you places. When we're younger and kids, we took buses to school. If we missed the bus, our parents would have to take us. And when we were in school for extracurriculars or sports, my parents would have to either take us in early or pick us up after school, or find someone else to pick us up, or maybe find a carpool, which really depended on our teammates and if anyone lived close to us, which wasn't always an option. So my parents spent a good part of our childhood driving all of us kids around. I think all of us were in school sports as well as in hockey and baseball. So my parents spent a lot of time driving around, and I don't know how they did it, but I'm very thankful because those were some of my most memorable childhood memories growing up. So thanks, Mom and Dad. That's all I'm going to talk about today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below and I will make sure that I check back and get those answered for you. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you next time.